Good day, everyone. Welcome and thank you for taking the time to watch this video presentation titled The Impact of Artificial Intelligence in Education, Opportunities and Challenges. This presentation is part of our academic journey in GESE 101, Advancements in Content and Pedagogy at NTZ. And it marks another meaningful milestone in our pursuit of a master's degree in education. We're excited to share insights on how AI is transforming the educational landscape.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today with humble hearts, seeking your guidance and wisdom as we begin this program. Lord, we ask that you would bless every person who has gathered here today, and that you would be present with us in a special way. We pray that this program would be a time of learning, growth, and fellowship for all of us. Help us to listen to one another with open hearts and open minds, and to support one another as we strive to serve you in all that we do. Please give us the strength and the courage to follow your will, and to use the gifts and talents you have given us to make a positive difference in the world. We pray all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Before we proceed, please watch the video until the end. Also, you can share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Your feedback is truly appreciated. Before we proceed, let me first introduce to you our resource speakers. A collaboration of students in a graduate program taking Masters in Education major in English at NTZ Manila. Our speakers today are: first, we have Ma'am Anne Charlotte Obrero. Next, we have Ma'am Alona Lanuang. Next, we have yours truly, Miel Azares. We also have Ma'am Jessa May Perez and Sir Ariel Soriano. Now, let me briefly share the objectives of today's session on artificial intelligence in education. Our goal is to help us all gain a clear and practical understanding on how AI is shaping the learning environment. Specifically, by the end of the session, you will be able to: first, situate AI in the context of education; second, reflect personal beliefs about AI and education, and form a clear, thoughtful stance; and the last one would be develop a 30-day action plan to explore or try an AI tool aligned with the teaching role. To guide our conversation and keep us on track, let me walk you through the flow of today's session. Session 1 will be the introduction, and then the current issues in AI and education, which will be discussed to us by yours truly, Miel Azares. For the second session, we'll be having AI and education, or the integration of AI, which will be discussed by Ma'am Alona Lanuang. For the third session, we'll have the benefits of AI for teachers, which will be explained to us by Ma'am Jessa May Perez. And for the fourth one, we'll have the benefits of AI for students, which will be explained to us by Ma'am Anne Charlotte Obrero. And the last one would be the consideration and best practices by Sir Ariel Soriano. Let's begin with a mind exercise. As an educator, how do you feel about AI or artificial intelligence? Describe your feeling in one word. You may also share your answer by writing it in the comment section. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Your one-word responses show the wide range of feelings experienced by educators like us facing the rise of AI in education. Whether it is excitement or concern, what matters is that we stay informed, reflective, and open to learning. Let us continue exploring together how AI can become a meaningful tool in our teaching journey. Let's move on to the definition of artificial intelligence, or AI. Now, the question would be, what is artificial intelligence? Now, let me share with you the two definitions of artificial intelligence. They are from McCarthy and Zhang. Now, please read silently the two definitions. The first definition from McCarthy The term artificial intelligence was first used in 1956 during a workshop at Dartmouth College. It is a well-known university in the United States, and it was used to describe the science of creating smart machines, especially computer programs that can think and learn like humans. For the second definition, there's another powerful way to think about AI based on how Zhong described it in 2006. He said that AI is a branch of modern science and technology with two major goals. The first goal is to understand the secrets of human brains and how humans think, how humans learn, and how humans make decisions. And then the second goal is to transfer that intelligence into machines. Now here comes the building and creating systems that can think, reason, and act like human beings. A machine that don't just follow instructions but can actually perform smartly and intelligently. So, looking at the two definitions of McCarthy and Zhang, we can say that AI is any computer programs to complete cognitive tasks typically associated with human intelligence. And when we say cognitive tasks, we're talking about what our mind does, like understanding language, problem solving, recognizing patterns, making decisions, and even learning from them. All of this can be done by an AI machines, applications, or computer programs. So imagine a machine that can not only follow instructions but can also analyze information, draw conclusions, and improve over time, just like a person would. This is how AI works. AI has become an essential part of modern life, with applications in various fields like healthcare, transportation, business, and education. Now we can already see AI in action every day. From voice assistants like Siri or Alexa to recommendation systems like Netflix or even the smart tools we use in education to support personalized learning. Anyways, all the examples of this will be discussed to us by Ma'am Alona. How does AI help? First, it extends information processing skills. AI helps us understand information better. AI can help students read faster, understand more, and find answers quickly. For example, if a student has a long article to read, tools like ChatGPT can give a short summary or explain hard words in an easy way. It's like having a smart helper who explains things clearly. Second, AI supports creativity and innovation. AI can help learners write stories, make art, create music, or explore new ideas. Example, a student writing a poem can use AI to get suggestions or improving his grammar. Third, it expedites routine tasks. AI saves time. AI can take care of routine work so teachers have more time for teaching. Example, instead of checking dozens of test papers by hand, a teacher can use an AI tool to check answers instantly or make a quiz in seconds. It's like having an assistant who works fast and never gets tired. AI is transforming education, offering new tools for learning and teaching. However, it also raises key issues like privacy, academic integrity, and equal access. This challenges us to use it responsibly. There is really a need for ethical use and strict data.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. Now let's proceed to AI and education. I just want to tell you this, AI can be a fatal tool as well. Hindi ko po dinideny that I am embracing AI. I support AI. I also use AI. But I have also to bear it with you na meron din siyang dangers pag hindi natin siya nagagamit ng tama. It will definitely cause also a fatal blow in the learning process if not used properly. Then, dun tayo papasok as an educator. Now, let's talk about AI in education. How AI in education can actually change how we do and facilitate the learning process in the 21st century. Okay, so now we will proceed to generative AI. So, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content such as text, image, or music and code. So, AI is the umbrella. Then you have a more specific kinds of AI. And I will never go through all of them kasi I would like to focus on AI component or AI type that is related to education, which is a generative AI. Si generative AI, generative data, ito yung mas popular because sa explosion ni ChatGPT. So generative AI is one of the kinds of AI tools wherein it is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content such as text, images, music, and also code. Okay. So whenever an AI tool can generate something, be it like image or text, it is this are called generative AI. It is this by learning from a large amount of existing data that is being fed by the people who design it, then using that knowledge to generate new outputs that are similar to the data it was trained on. So that's the reason why you ask information from generative AI tool. It can actually give you that information. Okay, so integration of AI in teaching English. So also it adds notes and script to help you land your message clearly. Also, notes can be added while editing your presentation and are displayed in teleprompter and presenter view while recording. First, AI-powered writing support, automated writing, evaluation, or AWE tools. Example, we have Grammarly or Write to Learn. We also, it provides instant feedback on grammar, coherence, sentence structure, vocabulary use, and even tone. Okay. Second, we have speech recognition for pronunciation practice. AI-driven pronunciation tools. It allows students to practice speaking and receive instant feedback on pronunciation accuracy and fluency. Example, Google Read along Elsa Speak. It supports oral fluency and builds speaking confidence. So AI tools for speech. So this time, let's just mention some of the tools that we can explore with a generative AI. And of course, AI tools that are related to education and how we can actually integrate it in our lesson. Again, this is just an overview. I will not demonstrating this. So, AI tools na pwede nating gamitin. And of course, ito yung mga common. So, here's a Google Docs voice typing. AI na po yan. So, kung hindi nyo pa siya na-encounter, na-explore, pwede nyo na po siyang i-explore lalo na kapag gusto nyo mag-generate ng text using your voice. No? And again, it uses to be able to process your voice that convert it into text. No? So that's from Google. That's actually an integrated tool into your Google Docs. You can actually or you can easily access that. No? Dati hindi siya reliable, pero ngayon mas reliable na and recognizes also Filipino language. So that's only language na recognize sa Philippines. And of course, English, if you are using English, very useful yung generating like mga speeches, spills, or mga script, no? So you can use that Google Docs voice typing para hindi masyadong straining, no? Next, we have automatic captioning. And of course, the Google Meet, meron na rin siyang automatic captioning. So, that's for inclusivity, no? And accessibility for all users of Google Meet, no? Marami ng mga languages yan na nire-recognize. Although, wala pa sa Philippines, hindi pa included ang Filipino language natin. So, English muna yung nire-recognize for automatic captioning. Okay? Next, we have interview warm-up. So, practice speaking and answering skills with AI feedback. So, ito yung maganda ng kapag nasa senior high school ka. And if you want to practice your students to in an interviews. Kunyari mag-a-apply sila ng trabaho, you can use interview warm-up. It allows them to stimulate interviews, and of course, they will be able to really feel like the questions. If their answers are appropriate, how they answer interview questions, so they are very useful para sa senior high school or college students natin, or kahit hindi pa naman, or even in junior high school if they wanted to practice them in a speech. Pwede din gamitin in interview warm-up. Next, we have text-to-speech AI tools. We have Speechify, Read Aloud, and Natural Reader. So, meron din tayong mga ganitong tools like these three. No? Although, ito yung mga tools na may mga bayad sila, but may mga limitations, but they are definitely helpful, especially for accessibility in our students. So, AI, hindi lang talaga siya nakakatulong on making our workload easier or expediting routine tasks, but it also provides more accessibility for more students in our classes. Okay, so let's proceed to AI tools for music. AI tools, if you are music lover, no, para sa mga music teachers natin, and ito yung gusto natin i-simplify. Kasi gusto ko ipakita sa inyo, hindi lang siya one subject itong si AI in education. No? So, kasi AI is, for education, can be in multitudes of subjects, in different activities, or in different assessments. So, marami siyang gamit. No? So, for music, you can explore assisted melody via Google Arts and Culture. Pwede din kayo mag-generate dyan ng music using famous composers or characters. For example, pwede ka dito mag-compose ng songs, anong tones ang pwede mong gamitin, things like that. No? Very fun and of course, very engaging tools din ito for us teachers. No? So, that's via Google Arts and Culture. Next, meron din tayong Music LM. You can do AI text to music generator. You can do or generate an entire lyrics for a song. And you might say, paano yan? Parang wala ng creativity dyan. Pero again, these are things that can be a big help. No? In here, we can ask students to create a song and use it for a campaign, for example. We can also integrate this also when we are teaching English, okay, during in our collaboration, when we give a collaborative work for our students, no? Okay. Next, AI tools for images. So, AI tools for images, so madami na to ngayon, diba? Napakarami ng AI tools for images. So, we have Google Lens. Google Lens can identify images, pull out text, translate text, and more. Lens or .google. So, of course, meron tayong Google Lens if you want images for searching, convert text, or translate text. You can definitely use Google Lens. So, that's available on your Android devices. So, that's from Google also. Next, we have Socratic. Now, we can also use Socratic. It is useful for math teachers in here. What students can do here is that they can upload formula and they can search how it solved that formula. And again, papasok na naman tayo doon sa idea na, paano yan? Hindi na matututunan ng iba yung pagsosolve ng formula. But actually, what happened is that they can get to know how it was being solved. No? So they understand the entire process of solving the equation. So things like that. Again, what AI tools is doing is that it allows you to stretch the skills and knowledge that you want to impact or impart to your students. Ikaw pa rin yung mag-handle nito as an educator. Okay? So, we have the so-called Scroobly. So, Scroobly, ito yung, it is a chill tool. Chill lang siya. But if you might want to also interest your students, it's an AI tools to let you be a digital animator. Ito ay napakasimple lang. They will draw and then it will be animated for them. So it gives them the ability to animate without alienating them on how to use a tool. Kasi alam na natin na kapag sobrang complex ng tool, may mga nai-alienate doon. So they won't even want to try animation anymore. But with this tool, they would be able to explore animation, and maybe they would start loving animation and develop their skills eventually. So we have Bing Image Creator. Si Bing Image Creator, this is a Microsoft using to power Bing Image Creator tool. Si DALL-E, ang alam ko, naka-integrate na din siya sa Canva. We can also generate DALL-E images via Canva. So these are sites that can generate you images based on particular descriptions. Okay, we have Canva text or Canvas text to image. Of course, for Canva, ang dami ng AI components si Canva. So nakaka-inlove, no? Nakaka-inlove si Canva. Meron din siyang text to images. You can actually generate AI images that you can use it in your Canva presentations or project. No? And we have Adobe Firefly. And of course, from the Adobe Firefly, imagine this. Kailangan mong gumawa ng image at kailangan it's very specific on your lesson. So instead of looking or scrolling over the internet or even creating it on your own, kaya na yang gawin ni AI for you. So yung mga instructional materials natin can also be elevated by AI. At pag kumonti yung oras na ginagamit natin in doing our instructional materials, again, we can relocate our time to more important things which is teaching in the classrooms, guiding, coaching, and mentoring our learners. Again, dyan papasok si AI. Ayan ang kayang gawin ni AI for us, educators, and for all of us. No? Of course, meron din tayong AI tools for language. No? So, we have Gmail Smart and Auto Reply. Google AI can create simple suggested replies to emails and messages. Meron din tayong ganito, Gmail Smart and Auto Reply for your Gmail. Mag-generate na siya ng mga suggested text for replies. No? So, we also have verse by verse. Write a poem with AI-powered help from famous poets. No? So, if you want to guide your students in creating poem, meron ka na rin ngayong verse by verse to write a poem with AI-powered help from famous poets. So, you can actually ask a famous poets to write a particular poem using your topics, etc. So, we can also we can already introduce them to poetry without alienating our students to make it complicated for them. Next, we have ChatGPT. ChatGPT, of course, ito yung napaka-popular ngayon, no? Na meron kalalabas lang ngayon na ChatGPT 4.0 na kaya nang gumamit ng audio prompting or audio information to give you output, no? So napaka-powerful ni ChatGPT. Ang alam ko libre pa siya ngayon at pwede pang ma-access, but also it will become a paid version just like their previous version na nagiging paid na for all users, no? So we also have Copilot. Si Microsoft ay nag-launch din ng kanyang sariling version ng ChatGPT. Ito yung kanyang sariling language model or language model AI, which is called Copilot. So kung tayo ay mas comfortable kay Microsoft, meron din siyang sarili, no? Napakaganda rin, napakalawak at napakalaki rin ng responsiveness ni Copilot na pwede ding ipangtapat head-to-head or toe-to-toe against ChatGPT. Next, we have Gemini. Meron din si Google na Gemini. This is similar to ChatGPT and of course Copilot. It also a language AI for education. Next, so ayan, palabas na rin ang AI components ng ating favorite na Google tools, ang ating Docs AI. Meron na tayo ngayong mga integrated AI assistant sa loob ng ating mga Google tools, no? So in Docs, the AI can write new text or rewrite existing text. No? So, Slides AI, in Slides, Duet AI can generate original images and text. Meron na din tayong Slides AI. Next, we have Gmail AI. In Gmail AI, the AI can write a new draft email or refine an existing draft. The text can be formalized, elaborated, shortened, and more. No? And of course, even in Gmail AI, palabas na rin po ito. So, even in searching, no, lumalabas na rin yung AI integrated into our search capabilities kay Google Search. Isa lang ibig sabihin yan, teachers, no? Parami na ng parami, and definitely very aggressive and pervasive yung growth ng AI, especially in education. And this is something that we, us educators, we have to watch on it, no? Okay, so AI tools, collections online. So ito po yung mga websites that curates AI tools, hindi lang for education, but also an AI tools that you can be used in different areas of your work or the things that you would like to do so. So you can visit this Futurepedia, futurepedia.io. futuretools.io, all things AI, all things that AI.com. There's an AI for that. So there's an AI for that.com. So we have that. Prompt engineering. So ngayon, isa sa pinaka-importante po na matutunan natin sa paggamit ng generative AI is yung tinatawag nating prompt engineering. No, huwag po tayong malula sa word na engineering, no? Pinaganda lang 'yan. Pero ang totoo niyan, prompt creation talaga 'yan. Ito yung paggawa ng prompt or pag-create ng messages or statements so that we can generate the proper information. So that's why it is called prompt engineer, no? Or prompt engineering. So prompts, basically these are typically the user will provide the AI with a prompt, no? Which is often written in normal conversation language. So basically, that is a statement that you fed into AI of what information you want to be generated. For example, your prompt is you want to generate a reflection question for me. So that's a prompt, no? And why it is important and why the idea of prompt engineering is being coined. Because creating prompts is not simple as we think it is. No? Hindi siya kasing simple that you can just simply put it into words and talk to AI tool and generate output. No? So, why people started to use prompt engineering? It's precisely because there is a proper way of creating prompts, and the better that you get it in creating prompt, the better that you are able to generate more accurate or better information. And ang pag-create ng prompts ay hindi lang ito para sa atin, teachers. No? Prompt engineering should be taught to our students as well. So if our school has a policy on AI, or if we will embrace it in embrace AI in our institution or in our instructions, then that's one thing that we have to have for our students. You have to have a session on prompt engineering, because if our students use or cannot use prompt properly, AI might not actually work for them or might not actually benefit them. No. So, there. So, ngayon, just to help us teachers, ito yung acronym natin for how to write better prompts. How to write a better prompts? We have persona, we have aim, recipients, theme, and structure. So, let's proceed to persona. So, first, you have to identify your role. No? So, when you want to create a prompt, you have to have the persona. So identify your role. For example, I am a teacher. you will tell AI your role. So whenever information will be or whatever generation will be generated by AI is actually understanding your role in that particular information. Always put your role. For example, you are a teacher, you are a coach, a mentor, an administrator. Even if you are a student, you have also to put that as your role. Okay? So next, aim. State your objective. Next, what is your objective about the information that you wanted to generate? For example, if you want to ask a reflection question from AI or from Gemini, ChatGPT, or Copilot, always ask this. You can generate a reflection question related to this particular topic. So my students can reflect deeper on our lesson. So, kailangan may objective, no? So, and of course, recipients, no? You have to specify your audience. What is the information or for whom the information will be? For example, when I generate reflection question, I would always tell AI tools for which grade level it is. Para yung wording, yung tone, and how the sentences are being constructed, the complexity of the reflection questions are matched, no, to the grade level that you wanted to generate. So always specify your audience. Next, how to write a better prompt in terms of theme. Describe parameters, that is tone and style. And of course, we also have the theme. For example, I also use Gemini, AI, ChatGPT, whenever I want to generate email draft. Napakalaking tulong po yan. Minsan kasi, gusto nating magsulat ng napakahabang email draft, for example, to send, we would like to send to our administrator email draft when we are applying for a job. No, we can use AI to give us a draft of email. So we can, we would tell if the tone of the email should be like formal, the tone should be casual, the wordings and how it is constructed will be designed around your parameters. Again, ang nagiging point natin dito is the more specific your prompts becomes, the better that the AI tool can generate better information for you. Okay? Nagigets po ba? Alright, so how to write a better prompts in terms of structure. Okay, note the desired format of the output. And finally, so say for example, I'd like to have a summary for a particular text. So do I wanted it in bullet point or do I wanted it in a paragraph form? Things like that. So you can also put a desired format. Okay? So how to write better prompts? So these are the things that you have to be familiar of and you have to be mindful about. Okay? So first is persona. Identify your role. Aim. State your objective. Recipients. Specify your audience. Theme. Describe parameters, that is tone and style. Structure. Note the desired format of your output. No? So that would be all. So I hope everyone could able to explore this AI tools and how this can actually help us not only by teachers but also students. No, so we have to explore and we have to learn this. Okay, so thank you so much, and I guess that would be all.
Okay, so let's know the benefits of AI for the teachers. So first we have here increased efficiency. So AI tools automates repetitive tasks like checking of attendance and grading, allowing teachers to invest more energy in instructional design and student support. So according to cognitive load theory by Zweller, reducing the heavy load or cognitive load of the teacher enables them to prepare or focus more on higher order teaching tasks. For example, a creative teacher uses ChatGPT to auto-generate questions for a story like The Myth of Daedalus and Icarus, saving time in preparing more daily formative assessments. So AI indeed lightens the mental burden on teachers, helping them to focus on what matters most, the student learning. Next, enhance instructional support. So AI platforms provide teachers with customizable lesson content, visual aids, and differentiated activities tailored to students' needs. So I know we are familiar with Theory of Multiple Intelligences by Howard Gardner. So we know that our students or learners absorb information in different ways. Some are visual spatial, some are linguistic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and so on and so forth. So AI really helps teachers reach all types of learners by offering diverse modes of instructions. So, for example, teachers can use ClassPoint AI inside PowerPoint to generate comprehension questions based on passages or reading passages to help our struggling learners so that we can adjust our lesson activities for them. The third benefit of AI for the teacher would be real-time feedback. So AI enables teachers to receive immediate data on students' performance and understanding, helping them to respond quickly to learning gaps. So if we have immediate feedback, it reinforces correct responses and helps correct errors instantly. So here we have AI. It acts as a continuous feedback loop, enhancing the effectiveness of the instruction. So as English teachers, we can use AI-powered tools like Century Tech or Quizzes AI so that we can see live data showing which students struggling with certain concepts so that we can review it before moving on. Professional development collaboration. So AI-powered platforms connect teachers to online trainings, resources, and collaborative tools that fosters professional growth. So according to Vygotski's social development theory, learning occurs through social interaction and shared experiences. That's why AI is here. AI facilitates professional learning communities wherein teachers co-create, reflect, and improve together. For example, we can see suggestions from Coursera or DepEd LMS for the training courses on digital storytelling and many more. Since we're done with the benefits of AI for the teachers, let's now proceed to the benefits of AI for the students. First, engage learning. So AI enables our students to actively build knowledge through personalized and interactive experiences. So learning becomes more meaningful for them if they can manipulate and explore ideas themselves. You know what? Our students want to really experience that learning is really fun and engaging. So that's why AI is here. AI helps us so that it turns our students into active participants, not passive receiver of knowledge. We can use Kahoot in our learning lesson activities so that through gamified activities, knowledge really return more effectively. Second, language and literacy support. According to Zone of Proximal Development, learners need support just beyond their current abilities to grow. So that's why AI supports reading and writing development through tools that offer speech recognition, translation, real-time feedback, and vocabulary suggestions. They ensure that every learner receives personalized language supports. For example, our English language learners use Grammarly or Killbot to improve English sentence construction or structure and word choice. So through that, AI serves as a digital scaffold guiding our students towards independent language mastery. Third, self-paced learning. According to self-directed learning theory, learners are more motivated when they can control the pace and direction of their learning. So that's why AI allows our students to learn at their own pace and revisit some concepts and topics as needed. This reduces the anxiety and stress and promotes mastery learning or supports mastery learning. So it also promotes independence and lifelong learning skills. For example, our learners can use DepEd Commons. They can just log into commons.deped.gov.ph so that they can revisit some concepts and topics there. And through that, AI really empowers students to take charge of their own learning journey. And last but not the least, accessibility. According to UDL framework, education should be designed to accommodate all learners from the start. That's why AI promotes inclusion by adapting content delivery to meet diverse needs, whether cognitive, linguistic, physical, ensuring that every learner can access learning opportunities. For example, AI provides assistive tools such as voice-to-text, screen readers, voice assistant, ensuring that every learner, regardless of ability, can access learning. So that's why AI breaks down barriers, making English learning inclusive and equitable.
Now let's proceed with the key considerations and best practices. While AI opens up many opportunities, we must approach its use thoughtfully. Let's look at a few key considerations. First is awareness of limitations. AI tools, while powerful, are not perfect. They may lack the nuance and context that human educators bring. And it is crucial to recognize where AI can assist and where human judgment must lead. Next is teachers as facilitators. AI should not replace teachers, but support them. The role of the educator becomes even more valuable to guide, interpret, and enrich the learning experience that AI tools help deliver. And next is complement, not replace. Each teacher, as we all know, each of us has a unique teaching style and curriculum. AI should be adaptable, enhancing and complementing that, not imposing a one-size-fits-all approach. Next are the best practices for using AI in education. As AI becomes more integrated into education, it is more important to use it responsibly to enhance accessibility and equity. Educators and teachers alike should follow key best practices to ensure ethical and effective AI use. First, always review AI outputs carefully. AI-generated content can contain errors or biases. Human oversight is essential to ensure that the information provided is accurate, fair, and appropriate for the learning context. Second, it is important to disclose the use of AI, most especially in educational work. Transparency helps build trust and ensures academic honesty, especially when AI tools are used for writing, tutoring, or assessment support. Third, users must consider the privacy and security implication of using AI. Many tools collect personal data, so it is crucial to choose platforms that follow data protection laws and prioritize users' safety. And lastly, always use AI thoughtfully. AI should complement, not replace, teaching and learning. It should support critical thinking, creativity, and inclusivity rather than promote shortcuts or dependency. By following these best practices, we can ensure that AI is used in a way that respects learners, supports educators, and advances equitable access to quality education. To sum up, following best practices when using AI in education is essential to maximize its benefits while minimizing risks. Reviewing AI outputs ensures accuracy and fairness, while disclosing AI use promotes transparency and academic integrity. Considering the privacy and security protects student data, and using AI thoughtfully helps maintain the important balance between technology and human guidance. By adhering to these principles, educators can harness AI as a powerful ethical tool that enhances learning and supports all students effectively. For the next slide, AI remains to be a tool in education, one designed to support and enhance teaching and learning, not replace the human elements essential to education. When used thoughtfully and responsibly, AI can provide personalized assistance and innovative resources while keeping teachers at the center of the learning process. So for the next presentation, that will be presented by Sir Ariel.
Let's reflect on the idea and the phrase which says AI is here to stay. What comes into your mind when we read the phrase AI is here to stay? Can we say that AI is gone 3 years, 4 years from now, or it should be developed or must be developed in the time to come? The phrase AI is here to stay reflects the idea that artificial intelligence is no longer a temporary or experimental technology. It has become a lasting and integrated part of modern life. In education, healthcare, business, and daily activities, AI tools are already influencing how people learn, work, and communicate. In the field of education, AI is being used to support personalized learning, language instruction, and assessment. As AI tools continue to improve and become more accessible, their role in classroom is expected to grow rather than disappear. As researchers Shang and Aslan of the year 2021 point out, artificial intelligence technologies are increasingly embedded in educational settings, and their presence will only become more prominent as the tools become more intelligent and user friendly. This means that educators need to adopt and learn how to use artificial intelligence wisely and ethically. Because it is not a passing phase, it is part of the future of teaching and learning. As technology continues to evolve, artificial intelligence is becoming an increasingly present part of education. Whether you're already using artificial intelligence tools or just beginning to explore them, now is the time to pause and reflect. Let's ask ourselves, how is artificial intelligence supporting my students' learning? Am I using it to enhance creativity, critical thinking, and engagement? Or do the tools I use match my teaching values and goals? Remember, we teachers are the heart of the classroom. Artificial intelligence is just a tool to assist, not to replace your wisdom, care, and creativity. Reflecting on our use of artificial intelligence helps ensure that it truly benefits our students and align with our teaching styles. By thinking critically and using AI thoughtfully, we are not just only embracing innovations, but also shaping the future of meaningful, human centered education. So let's keep growing, let's keep questioning, and keep leading with purpose. As teachers, our work is important, and our reflections in all our things that we do in the classroom and for our students makes all the difference. As we are about to end this webinar, I am encouraging each and every one of us as educators to create our 30-day action plan on our use of artificial intelligence. As educators, we must know when and where and how to use artificial intelligence and integrating it in our teaching and learning processes in our classroom. This 30-day action plan includes a weekly guide that guides you through discovering, applying, or integrating, and even reflecting on the tool's usefulness in your classroom's practices. Just as you look onto the screen, there is the template, which I ask you to simply fill in the table as you complete each task and track your progress and insights. Thank you very much, and I hope that this webinar helps you as educators to look for the challenges, opportunities, and the purpose and goal of using artificial intelligence. As said, we teachers are the number one tool in the meaningful learning process. But there is the artificial intelligence who is rampant in our time. And therefore, we must embrace the changes, the innovations that we have in this time of innovation and technological advancement.